everyone, and welcome to your Week 7 Monday Morning Breakfast Bite, or Module 7 Monday Morning Breakfast Bite. This week we are rounding out and ending our travels through intellectual property with trade secrets, and we're also entering the realm of open source and social media marketing as well. So when we think about those things, let's talk just a minute about trade secrets, because trade secrets is a very important part of intellectual property. And for the longest time, it actually was governed only by state law. So there was no federal law regarding trade secrets and how we would go about protecting that source of intellectual property. So when we talk about trade secrets, what we're talking about is something that the company wants to remain a secret because it gives them a competitive edge, a marketing edge, and if that secret were known to the public, then they would lose that marketing edge. So we're not talking about we're talking about recipes, but we're not talking about like a recipe book. Then you're talking about copyright. But now there's federal legislation regarding trade secret infringement. And the name of the legislation is called the Defend Trade Secrets Act. So as you see, I clicked into our reading materials and videos for this week. So you want to pay attention to the Defend the Trade Secrets Act. Please go ahead, open that, take a look at it. Take a look and read the short article regarding the Defend Trade Secrets Act, because it highlights the important aspects of the act. Because someone could be held criminally liable for violating the Defend Trade Secrets Act, but definitely can be also held civilly liable by the company or the entity who feels their trade secret is being infringed. Also, take a look at open source and e-commerce and the information regarding that, 19 open source e-commerce solutions. But open source licensing is very, very important, because when we think about franchises like McDonald's and Burger King and things of that nature, Checkers, Chick-fil-A, and it goes on and on, we don't realize that what actually is happening in that situation is the franchise, of course, is a contract, but really, most importantly, what is being contracted away is intellectual property rights. That's what the license does. That's what a license does. And a license is another source of contracting. And open source licensing is about those open source programs, the open source initiative, the open source realm where you have something to offer, and it is of an intellectual nature and an intellectual property nature, but you want everybody to have the right to it. You want people to add to it, because adding to it may fix glitches, may fix problems that they have and bugs, but there are parameters to it. And so the case you're going to look at this week for your Week 7 discussion is the Jacobson versus Katzer case, which is right on point with that open source licensing and software and the issues of copyright and the issues of breach of contract. So pay attention to that case, please, when you're reading it, because first read the reading materials, then go into the discussion and see what the discussion says. And that's the best way to always treat every module, is that first you read the content, then you address the discussion, because then when you're reading the case, you'll have a better understanding of what you're looking at. Take a look at the open source initiative website and social media do's and don'ts. Now, also for this week, in addition to the Week 7 discussion, you are as well taking the midterm this week. So please pay attention to that. It opens on March 29th, which is a Thursday, and then ends on April 2nd. So be aware of that as well, and it's going to end on April 2nd because Easter is on Sunday. If you all have any questions, don't hesitate to contact your instructor. That's what we're here for, in addition to teaching you the material in as organized a fashion as possible. But we hope that you have a wonderful Week 7. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me.